We're gonna start. So welcome, world. Once again, if you don't see me anymore, but you hear me now, it's your boy Oasis. Today we got someone that has been mentioned by the goats, someone that has been hiding from us, but he says he's not hiding anymore. So I'm glad to be the first person and the first people who's the lounge is the one to get to find out why he's been gone, what has been happening, and let's tickle his brain. So we want to welcome the Narrator CPT people.
Salute.
So welcome to the Lyric Lounge, Narrator. Bro, first question we always ask everyone is, where did the name come from and where did it start for the Narrator CPT?
Okay, narrator is a storyteller. If you don't know what a narrator is a storyteller. So, you know, when you're younger, you sit in your friend group. You sit in your friend group, it's always the guy that talks a lot. You know what I mean? And I was always that guy. You know, the guy always telling the story, I was that guy. And I was always talking the most, always having the most stories to say. And I thought one day, look, I need an original name. I don't want to sound like anybody. I don't want to be like a young thug or, you know, a lol something. And I thought, look, let me rather make it Narrator. You know what I mean? It started off as Narrator CPT and then I added the you know what I mean? So that's where the name came from, being the storyteller all the time.
Nah, you had to add the article, but just to make it official.
Yeah.
That's dope, bro. But I watched videos where you were mentioned by Youngster as one of the upcoming artists, and those times that were talking about you. What happened that time? Because we were hearing about you by the big ones, but people that are now doing it in Cape Town. Where did you silence yourself, or where did that fall have come from? What happened?
I took a break. I didn't like, you know, the direction I was heading in. If you make music and if you have high standards, that, you know, not a lot of people in Cape Town have high standards anymore. You know, someone can drop anything and, you know, it's good. You know, if there's a bit of Afrikaans in it, it's amazing for some reason. So when I was busy, I was writing lyrics one day, and I was like, nah, man, all of it sounds the same, man. It's repetitive, and I mean, take a break, like gain some perspective, a new perspective. You know, I used to go to college in Stellenbosch, and in the taxi outside, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna use that in my song. You know, that auntie walking with the bags there, she's in the next song, and you know, people begging for food. Let me make something out of, like, you know, the reality or just something like that. And the break came at that point where I felt like everything was the same. It was sounding the same, and it was boring. And I just wanted to come back, you know, with a bang. And my beat maker and producer, Shammy Prod, started making beats. We went to school together, and it was like the perfect moment to start again. Yeah, basically. I intentionally stopped though, so yeah.
Okay, now I was going to ask, because for me, I saw it, bro. When I started seeing that time your name being mentioned by the crates and the people that are making it now,
yes.
I was expecting to see something happen, because they were talking about you. The streets were calling your name at one point, didn't they? So,
yeah, of course. Yeah. Like the Instagram live, I think you're talking about when Youngster mentioned me. It was, look, during COVID times, I was releasing a lot of videos. So I made like I'm going to release like a video a week type thing, and it was freestyles, it was verses, the remixes, everything. And you know, now it goes tagging Youngster all the time. You know, we were all young, we were all dumb, we were all, you know, bombing people's phones, and that was what I did. And Youngster started commenting. He was commenting on all my posts, and then I think it was grade 12. The man, he decided he's gonna follow me. One day I was traveling home from school, I saw like 15 likes on my phone. Youngster liked all my pictures and stuff and followed me. It was a good time.
Bro. It shows that your persistence from that time already was there.
Yeah.
And their haters also, you said, was needed, you know, just to see your perspective. Now, since coming back in now, seeing that you're back now, is there anything that has changed? Your perspective changed, yes, but what have you seen that is different now, that you are going to do differently in the game?
Same, like what I've been saying, what I just said about the Afrikaans, and what I just want to be different. You know what I mean? Like, look, no disrespect to TikTok artists and people. I have a few of them on my phone, but they know my opinion and my feeling on TikTok, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on it. It's all basic, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we had the Temple Boys and stuff. They started a new trend, so, you know, fair enough to them. That's trendy. And then like 10 other Temple Boys came in. Like 10 other groups of Temple Boys came in. And all of a sudden, that's been classified as rap. You understand? So me, why I'm taking so long to drop music? Why it's like everyone, Narrator, you know, hiding. You know, Narrator's taking his own time and things like that. That is a reason for it. You know what I mean? The product is gonna be way different and way better. So in the meantime, we're busy planning EP. Maybe not an album yet, but EP, video, songs. And the plan is just what I want to change and what I want to do differently is that I don't want to sound like everybody. And that's so cliche, everyone says it, but I don't want to sound like everyone, literally. So,
no, that's fine. But your sound, even the song you perform for us is different. You see, it's more bars than actual just jiggy bounce. You actually have stuff that you're saying in the song, you see. And you said you write your music that way. You take the experience from the old lady, you see, you take the experience from the beggar, which is dope. Is that how you always write? Is it always about? Is there always a story? Or is there any songs that just off the tops I feel listed?
Yes.
Do you have a few of those?
Yeah, I think I would be lying if I said everything is like serious. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to listen to a serious rapper all the time. It's a bit boring. You know, all Narrator wants to talk about is free our colored people, and I'm not an activist or freedom fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, maybe not yet. But the thing is, with music like that, it's not always experience. Okay, no, I shouldn't have said that. It's experience. Everything in my music is real. I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm saying that certain things is just me having fun. You understand? Like we played you an unreleased song now in Rika where I said something about I like short girls with a nice body. I mean, you know, it's not serious, you know what I mean? It's me saying my preference, you know what I mean? So, no, not everything is like that. And I do realize that sometimes you need to have fun with it, man. You understand? Rapping is a sport. It's an art, you know what I mean? You have to flex a little bit, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it was a sport, it was art, because my next question was going to be, so now that you're coming back in the game, you know the game has changed, but these Afrikaans rappers are taking over. They're doing things, bro. You might not like it, but what they do, the people love, right? So,
of course.
Do you think if you are going to step back into the game as serious as you were then by forcing the people to watch you and forcing the people to see you, do you think you're going to stand a chance to go up in even these features? Maybe getting a feature with one of these big Afrikaans rappers, you know? Do you think you'll be able to write and stand up against them in a verse?
Yeah, I don't even think like that. Like, will I have a chance and things like that, you know what I mean? And there's like I say, no disrespect to everyone. It's just you need to be confident, you know what I mean? You need to fight your corner, you know. And I'm Narrator, I'm a storyteller, it's my brand, and we don't even have conversations like that, you know what I mean? Like when I'm sitting with Shemi, the conversation is never like, yo, can I, you know, be on that brass level, you know what I mean? Like it's if I choose to, you know what I mean, type thing. So I think when I return fully, I think it's gonna be good. What I drop, you guys are gonna like. You know, I'll keep you guys updated with unreleased and so. But when I do return, it's gonna be something different. You know, to what you've been hearing, definitely. So yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry.
I like the fact that we're talking about planning a EP, no albums coming yet.
Not yet.
The EP that is being planned, is there any features that we can hear about? Any names you can drop from this one that we can expect to hear on the EP?
Okay, I have a lot of songs with a lot of features or potential features. So I didn't really decide what's going into the EP yet. We have a big list of unreleased songs. But we are speaking to people like Chase Williams and, you know, the Culture Gangs and the Luki Laxmans and, you know, those people. So that's people I've always been speaking to, you know, like even since before I took the break. So it's almost like the loyalty that they've shown me, like, look, you know, we're going to do that feature. And, you know, Luki and I, we're very close. So Luki Laxman, Chase Williams, Culture Gang, you can maybe expect Young OG in there again.
Young OG?
Who else? Okay, that's all I'll give you for now.
That's already a lot, bro.
That's a good list already.
A few people that we need on the show.
Yes.
And now we know Narrator Owens. He says that's his friend. So don't worry. We'll have Luki Laxman. We'll have KGM. You heard the man. That's friend. So that's shot for that. But I appreciate that you can give us that information. And I know they're all different artists that like different styles. So we can be expecting
definitely
an EP full of various and variety of music. And I didn't hear any singers being mentioned. Do you have any R&B songs coming through?
Yeah.
Anything with the singers? You know, I know Chase has that flow of mix and change.
Yes.
He can change, but he's a rapper through and through. Since
yeah.
You know?
No, there's one female artist that I speak to in terms of like we're gonna make a few songs together, not only one. She's amazing. Her name is Sky the Star. So she makes dope music. She's like she's still hidden at the moment, you know. So you probably didn't hear that name ever before. But I'll play you something. You know, Sky the Star. And then who else? There's some...
All locals.
Yeah, she's local, yeah. But I think the other one, she's been quiet for a very long time. Her name is Robin Exford. So that's somebody I've been speaking to for a long time as well. So that's two female singers that I really want to work with, you know. And also that people don't know. So I can like kind of gatekeep them until, you know, my song comes out. And then afterwards, you guys can all make songs with them. But I want to be the first, you understand? So yeah.
That's stuff I like that. Sky the Star and there's
Robin.
Yeah. We will definitely listen out to that because we're going to get the exclusive. You know, the lounge always gets the exclusive. So thank you to y'all for bringing it to us.
Yes.
And then I I want to start again from the beginning for you, man. Like, who inspires the music? Like, you name the artist that you listen to that helps you inspire yourself. Because I know your producer makes beats. He's making beats now. But is there still inspiration that you draw from? Do you go back to the 90s, the 80s? Well, what is your favorite, your artist? Who you like?
Look, when I started, I won't lie, it's quite obvious who it was when I started, you understand? Like, if you're asking who was my inspiration, there's CPT in my name, youngster. So that's not a secret. So when I started, it was youngster. Everybody wanted to be youngster. Everybody wanted to be like youngster because he showed us it was possible, So youngster, but if you're talking international, it's always been people like J. Cole. Storytelling, it's the same thing, you understand? People like Joey Badass, all of these guys, that's the type of music we listen to. Rush as well. But lately, I would say myself and my producer, Gunner. I don't know if you listen to Gunner. Now, Gunner's he doesn't do anything that I do, and I don't do anything that Gunner does. Yeah, but I just like the beats and the type of music we want to make. I mean, like when we listen to Gunner, we sit in the car and we're like, yo, this is the type of music I want to make. People must be cruising and be like, nah, this money's, he's tough. So, yeah, so Gunner, youngster, locally, the Shane Eagles and, those guys. So, yeah, I'll say those guys.
More of a local here than international?
I would say so. At the moment, yeah. Hasn't always been like that.
More local.
Yeah. It hasn't always been like that, but now it is. I mean, the locals kind of force you. There's so much music.
That's what I was saying at the beginning. We were forcing the people's faces.
Yes.
Too much. You did
exactly, but that's good though. That's good. So local,
so at least the push didn't stop. Since
of course.
Graph is still there. Yeah. And fan base wise, you dropped off. How did it affect your fans? Like when you did take the break, what did your fans say and? Like, how was it for them? Because, we do this for the fans. Yes, we do music for ourselves sometimes, but we also do it for the people and for the people that listen to us.
Yeah.
How did your fans handle it when you took this break?
You have a core fan base, and then you have people that come and go. You know what I mean? So the core fan base, the people that's always been listening to Narrator. I mean, if you were a real, I can't say a real person. If you're somebody that likes real music, you understand? If you listen to J. Cole, you listen to Youngster, so you would love my music if you listen to those guys, you understand? So those people, there was never a drop-off in terms of like my core fan base. They always listened to my music. There was just people maybe that saw one verse and, they were amazed for 2021 and then disappeared when 2022 came, you understand? But there was a big drop-off. I would be lying if I said there wasn't. The core fan base were always there. The people that loved Narrator, like really loved Narrator, they were always messaging me during that period, please come back, please drop music. And I would respond, don't worry, I'm there, because I respect the loyalty, so.
The same responses from the places that you mentioned, because you mentioned to us earlier also that you've been performing at these places and the spot that we're at is also knows your name very well.
Yeah. Many performances.
So you get that same support and that same love from those places as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think, what was the most recent performance? The Honeypot is also in Observatory, I think. I did a performance there. It's Scuff the Vibe with Two and Abstract and those guys, and we did a show there. We did like 3 shows there, and it was crazy. Like when I came there, it was like the people were waiting for me, and that's always a good feeling when you get there and people start looking at you.
And I see you enjoy the performance side of things as well, no? You enjoy putting yourself out there at the times that you can, obviously, perform and stuff.
And it's good that you mentioned that because I believe, look, there's artists that can make good music and artists that can't perform.
We had this conversation.
Artists can make good music, they can't perform the song. And then I have this conversation with Jared Jones when I record my music. There's artists that's amazing, whether it be in Cape Town or wherever, but they struggle in studio. So where does that come from? It comes from maybe a lack of preparation or I don't know.
I call it studio etiquette.
Exactly. That's a nice way of putting it. But so I believe that you need to be a recording artist, you need to be a performing artist, you need to be good at a bit of everything. You need to be an all-rounder. You can't go to studio and struggle. And you're the best on TikTok or you're the best on Instagram, but you take an hour to record one verse, you understand? So, yeah.
So on that, and our point that we made about studio etiquette, do you have a routine, like a set, I must have my headphones on, or leave me alone.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. Like a specific.
We don't invite many people to studio. Firstly, we like probably it's me, a beat maker, Jared, and maybe 2 friends or 1 friend. But that's the most, you know, we're not inviting any girls there. We're not going to have a party there. That's a workspace. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Eminem said, if studio's 40 minutes, he's there for 40 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm not going to chill there. So my routine, I don't have much of a routine. Maybe before we leave the studio.
Anything for the vocals?
Nah, not really. I talk a lot, so that's already enough for warm up. You know what I mean? So, but before we leave for studio, what I do is I will maybe rap all of the unreleased we're about to record now. So if we have 5 songs, we will go through it. He will edit the beat, and then I will just rap all of it again and again and again until he's happy, until I'm happy. That's maybe what we do before studio. But when we get to studio, it's like straight into it, record, second take, ad-libs, all of these things. So, yeah.
Nice. And then I go, okay.
On that, so you're not one of that artists that take 50 takes in studio. You come there, you rip the verse. It's literally my first take is my
One
first,
take.
second take.
All of them now.
One
And the
take,
whole crew
brother.
put up for one now.
Now, like I said,
I love that.
Like I said, preparation. And also, it's preparation and it's also being considerate, man. You're working with other people's time, you understand? So Jared Jones, if he invites me into his space, I can't come and take 50 takes for one verse, you understand? And he's going to sit there and be like, you know, when I have another artist coming. So that's something I take pride in, being prepared, you know, and doing it properly. I take pride in that.
That shows itself in your work, man.
Yeah.
In the quality of stuff that you put out.
Yeah.
The type of stuff that you put out, you know, like he said also earlier, it's not gibberish, it's not... Some of it is fun that you have.
Yes.
As all music is, we're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you say, you take it seriously, you look at it like that, and that's why it comes out like that, bro. And
Yeah,
it's
respect.
we appreciate your work for that.
Respect.
The other thing that I wanted to ask you, being an all-round artist, I see you rep a brand also. Is
Not-
it your brand?
This brand.
Yes, sir.
Not nice. No, this is not my brand. This is
Talk to us.
one of my friends' brands. So his name is Qin, and he's just someone I discovered on social media. You know, when something pops up once or twice, you ignore it. But when 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
So you
8...
found him on social media and you support his brand ever since?
Yes, of course. And you know, and it was before I could even support. He was like, yo, I have something for you, you know what I mean? And like, he was a fan. I didn't even know he was a fan of my music. So what happened was I followed him. And then, you know, he contacted me, we spoke, and ever since then, you know, we're working together. So hopefully one day you'll see not nice ex-narrator type thing, you know what I mean, soon. So yeah.
Yeah, and I see you have t-shirts and a jersey as well.
Yes. And like regarding my own merch, that's also coming soon. So we're going to do a summer drop hopefully end of year, because that's been a while. I used to do it in 2021 in my matric year. I was selling clothes that time already and masks during COVID. But end of year, we're going to do a summer narrator drop.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What is it exclusive?
Now let's get into the Cape Town scene, brother. Cape Town scene. Let's talk about Cape Town, Narrator. You, like you said, at your matric times, you were rapping, you were in the youngsters' face, and you know how the game was that time. It was difficult to get noticed in that time, you know? So for you now, do you think it's going to be easier now that you have the experience from then and knowing what you know now? Or do you think it's going to be more difficult to jump into these new markets, these new socials? Because you have to either get your following on TikTok or before it blows up on the other platforms. So how are you going to take that approach? How are you going to do that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit difficult. I don't conform, and I don't want to be like everybody. As I keep saying it, but I will keep saying it because that's the truth, you know. So it's difficult. It's more difficult for a person like me, but I prefer to do it that way. You know what I mean? I want to keep my sanity, and I want to be me when I do it. So one day when I win whatever, whether it be a Sama, I want to say I didn't change, you know, to fit the industry's, you know, image of, you know, what they wanted. So my video recently, when I don't know if you saw the one that you posted on the promo. Right, so that was a 20-1 remix. That video hit 107K on Insta, and it's almost on 200K on TikTok. But nothing happened. You understand? So what does that tell you? People like it for that moment. You know, people like a reel for 2 minutes. And then I go back to being me. You know, I go back to the gangster rap and lying about things that, you know, I don't really do. Yeah. I'm killing people, I'm stabbing people, which is not true. But I like this. And they will comment on your post. They will say, Narrator, I hope you blow up. And go back to listening to other stuff. So if you really want me to blow up, you're going to listen to that and then go and stream all my music. You understand? So
the effort,
yeah, exactly. So as I said, it's difficult for a person like me because everyone's listening. He just wants to be real. He wants to preach to us all the time. But I think that's what's needed in the world. So that's going to be tough for me.
You're not going to conform or say, not going to let the TikTok trends and not going to make music to appease the TikTok people, you know?
No, comb beats. No,
I'm not-
Gombi,
not
hip-hop
gonna
is hip-hop, bro.
Okay, nice, straight. You're not gonna conform by like that.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciate that because I know back in the day, bro, we used to force people to listen to it. You have to get it to everyone's faces
Yes.
before they listen to you. Nowadays, you just make one TikTok trend and then you know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, he can tell you, like, I go on runs on my status and stuff, bro. Like, I need to get it off my chest sometimes, whether it be on my Insta story or my WhatsApp. I'm going to speak my mind. You're going to hear my opinion. You know, it doesn't matter if you don't agree with it, but you're going to hear it. So, yeah.
And then where did, I don't feel like it's a hate from you, but where did this Afrikaans thing come from? Because you see these, you talk a lot about these Afrikaans rappers and now them coming in. Is it something you've been on your chest for a while?
Nah,
Or
it's not hate. It's not hate. It's more like, how do I put this? We were in the car on our way here. We were in the Uber and we were discussing people like Luda G, who's amazing. I think he's one of the best in not only Cape Town, in South Africa. So it's not like I don't respect these guys. I listen to Luda and I listen to Culture and Junior King and, you know, D12 and all these guys. I listen to all of them. But not everybody can be like that. You understand? So the problem is not with them. It's the new. So, but this is also how great they are. They created a whole new generation of other Luda, more Luda G's. My problem is with them. You understand? And my problem is not with Temple Boys and Team Kenny. My problem is with the next
rest,
Temple Boy. You know what I mean?
all the random pop-ups that came.
You know what I mean?
afterwards.
So, but now, then they're going to say, oh, you're going to have a problem maybe when the next narrator comes. You understand? You know, maybe I'm going to have a problem with that as well. You know, so, you know what I mean? So, who knows how a youngster felt when 50 people put CPT in their names? You know what I mean? And that's something we discuss every day. Like, should I take CPT out of my name? You know, I'm going to go overseas. I can't be limited to one area. You know, everyone looks the same and things like that. You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't say there's hatred. It's just, and it's also being competitive, man. You know, I like to compete, and my thing is rap is like as we said, rap is a sport. So if I say something that's my opinion and you don't respect it, I respect everyone's opinion. If you don't respect my opinion, how do we solve it in music? How's it solved? You put a track out. If you don't like what I'm saying, put a track out, and then we can settle it like that. We can see if English and Afrikaans is better. You understand? You know.
And like you said, that you must have the confidence to go with what you stand by. So even if those people that you say are, like we said, the triers or whatever, if they want to try it that way, do it, but do it good.
Do it good.
Authentic. Do it different.
You know what I mean? There's many people that I listen to, and like it's like a copy of what Luda's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or a copy of what Ziggy's doing.
Yeah.
So if I have Ziggy and I'm scrolling through TikTok and I'm watching Ziggy, he's dope. Then I'm scrolling and I see another Ziggy, you know, and another Ziggy, and the guy dresses like Ziggy and he looks like Ziggy and he talks like Ziggy. That's not what we need. You know what I mean? We need it needs to be different, man. And in America, that's the beauty of America, is that almost everybody looks different. Or in the UK, they sound the same, but everybody wants to be their own guy. You have a Cairo Keys, but then you have a H. Or you have a Stormzy, then you have a Dave. Yeah. So that's how our industry, you know, our industry needs to go in that direction, you know? So, yeah.
No, I agree with you. And looking at the Cape Town scene, you obviously have a big hand in, you know, the growth of the Cape Town music scene and your growth as well. Comparing it to what you see from Joburg and stuff like that, do you see the competitiveness there, like a Cape Town versus Joburg thing? Because we have this ongoing debate, myself and Oasis, about how we feel that Cape Town is getting to a level where, bro, Joburg can come, bro.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Joburg can come, bro, with like rappers, singers, artists, trap artists.
No, we already.
You know what I mean?
We already.
And there was a point, though, there was a stage in South Africa where Joburg was the pinnacle. Everybody wanted to. I mean, Youngster himself moved to Bram to go, you know, make it.
And Hillbro.
And those, you know what I mean? To go and perform his music and do his stuff. So now you don't have to.
Yes.
Now you can do it in all this, some of those places that you mentioned and get the same.
Of course. As I said, there's a ceiling. There was a ceiling in Cape Town. Like if you get a certain amount of views or you're recognized by a certain amount of people, you need to go over to Josie to, you know, expand that. But I don't think you need that anymore. You know what I mean? What I do like though is, Pretty Prince is from Cape Town. But what I do like is he has like a Joburg sound, man. And he's dope. He's very good at it. And him and Luda coming together kind of showed you that, look, Luda is not only for us, but Luda can be involved with like the MTs and the Questas and the Yangas. But I mean, because Pretty Prince gives off that vibe, you understand? So I really like that collab tonight. Luda, he's in now. You know what I mean? He's always been in, but now he's in now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted him to make a song with somebody like Pretty Prince, and he did it. So
And it's also nice because it's similar to that Andeli song that you played with for us, where it's also tapping into that realm a little bit.
Exactly. But we can compete. To answer your question, Cape Town can definitely compete.
With Joburg,
Definitely.
definitely, and the rest of South Africa at that also. Do you see a big change coming this year for Cape Town? I know you have a lot of perspective on the rap scene and the hip hop scene. Do you see a change coming?
Change in what sense? In the music? In the
music sense.
look.
We've seen it now a little bit with the Afrikaans and stuff, but do you see any other change? Like,
Look,
I see it. I'll give you my perspective in just a moment, but
Okay, I see. Okay, it changes. Like, let's say, for example, in 2021, we didn't have this many Afrikaans rappers. You know what I mean? We had Afrikaans rappers, but now there's a whole new, there's like 100 new Afrikaans rappers. Right? So I don't know what change I'm going to see, but I'm hoping that we see more English rappers. You know what I mean? We don't only speak Afrikaans. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to say is, because I sound, maybe I speak well, or, you know, I'm from Lenteghe where people speak Afrikaans, and I speak well. You look at me like, you know, you should be speaking Afrikaans type thing. But we do speak English in Lenteghe as well. And in Mitchell's Plain, they're all English people, and they speak proper English. So I think a few of the manner that's even English speaking are trying to rap Afrikaans because they're trying to fit in. Like, as I say, so I'm hoping that there's a shift and there's a change when it comes to that. Like, I do speak English. Let me do it this way. Because some man you listen to when they speak Afrikaans, you can hear Afrikaans is your first language. You understand?
Sorry, but
you're forcing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and that adds to the point that I was trying to also make, is that I see a sense of people trying to become their most authentic self.
Of course.
Know? And if like we both say, if people can latch onto that and do that more, we're going to see a lot more dope music, a lot more dope artists, a lot more dope things happening for Cape Town. And speaking about things happening for Cape Town, we just want to find out from you, like, platforms like this, you know, the Lyric Lounge, Budbrothers that hosts these kinds of stuff. What's your take on that? Are you for it? Do you enjoy the fact?
No, I love it. Like, I was on Only Dope Records. I did a podcast there. I'm with you guys today. I love it because I always feel like we look elsewhere when you think of podcasts and you know, platforms and, you know, performing your track, you know, like I just did now, like the Daily Dappies and On the Radar we discussed. You always look elsewhere. You look to the UK, you look to America and stuff. So I want our place to have that, you know, and I want it to be original. And what I can see with you guys is that it's like genuine interest in the local scene. Some guys you can kind of feel like, you know, you don't really know me. You just you want my face on your podcast, you know, I'm there. But I can see you guys actually taking interest in it. So I'm all for this. I love it.
Nah, that's dope. And then I'm just going to go into a quick game. I'm not going to go long questions. I'm just going to ask you two things. You choose one.
It's just quick fire.
Quick fire. Just to see where your mind is at and to understand you. So first one, I'm going to say, AKA Casper. Would you go?
Is it supposed to be quick fire? AKA.
AKA, right. AKA Nasty.
AKA.
AKA Stan. Youngster, AKA?
I'll have to go with the one that influenced me the most. Young.
Okay. Youngster Kindly Nash.
Young. Yeah.
Youngster Kendrick.
Oh, whoa. Youngster.
That was
I'll give you my reasons.
Please give us the reason for that one. Okay, one more. Youngster Cole.
Youngster.
Okay, now
I'll tell you why now. I'm not being delusional or anything. I mean, if you're talking about J. Cole and Kendrick and Youngster, I mean, come on now, man. You know what I mean? You know, that is no disrespect to Young. He's my guy. But the thing is, we talk about global influence, and Youngster and J. Cole's global. You know, we're talking about Grammy winners and things like that. But as I said, Youngster is the one that influenced my career the most. I can name you more Youngster songs than I can do Kendrick and J. Cole. You understand? So I'm going with preference there, you know, but bias.
I like the fact you stayed at home also.
Yeah.
I mentioned big names, bro. Me, I won't lie, I would have folded. But Kendrick get to walk in and say, yo, bro, feature.
Okay, maybe it's different then.
But it's Kendrick, bro.
Yeah, it's Kendrick, come on now.
Yeah, so then is another thing we do. Every week we get a letter written. Last week we got a letter from Fatigout and Uzi. You know, they left a note for you, inspirational. Sometimes we tell them to write a message, write something funny, write whatever you feel you would like the next artist to know. So they left you a message, so I want you to read that to the camera.
Okay, let's see it.
And then for next week, you're going to drop a note for someone else, some inspirational words, something for them
I don't
to
think I'll be
remember.
able to write my own one though. I have the handwriting of a doctor.
We might get the team to write it and sign.
You don't need to let no one dim your shine, stay goated. I like that.
From Fatih. I think I got that one.
Never let anybody know your next move. Stay goated as well. So yeah, I like that. Thank you to Fatih. And who's that one?
Uzi.
Uzi, respect to them.
Yeah,
Salute
nice.
that camera.
So, is there any wise words you might have for the next artist? You know, not what you're going to put down on the letter, but like, is there anything you would want the next artist to know and look in you to motivate them?
Yeah, mine would be to be curious, you know what I mean, all the time. And when it comes to music, you can never know everything. I have this quote that my daddy always tells me is, everything you know is not everything there is to know. So that is something I live by. So I never feel like I know everything. You know, the day you feel like you know everything, you're done, you know, you're dead. Because there's many people in the industry, I feel like, you know, good songs, and they made one big hit and they don't feel like they need to expand anymore. Where it could actually benefit them to try something different. So my advice to them is everything you know is not everything there is to know. That's what I would say. So yeah.
Dope. And we just want to say a big thank you to you for coming out today and sharing with us your time and your experience and all the good memories. And we just want to ask you if there's anybody you want to send a shout out to. You know, this video lasts forever, so.
Shout out. Okay, we spoke earlier about him on the live, JD the rapper. He's someone who I really like. He's only 17, 18 years old. And, you know, that he reminds me of myself, man. You know, when I started, I was 15, 16. I didn't really feel accepted. I felt like people wasn't taking me seriously. I had a few hiccups at the DSTV festival. Eventually returned, had a good performance. So people like JD the rapper, he's like 17, 18 years old. Guys like that. And who else? Let me think. Look, I don't need to give shout-outs to the guys that don't need shout-outs, you know what I mean? I would say JD, and I would maybe say Sky the Star again. Yeah, I'll keep it at that.
Keen to see your songs that come out with them and the new music that you're going to be releasing for 2025.
Yes.
Other than the one that you played for us, is anything big you want to just let us know about or announce just as we end things?
No, it's just that was something we discussed, and that's the EP. Look, the goal was to release the EP this year. Things don't always work out the way you want, but there's still time. You know what I mean? If I said the next time we have a goal for the next time I return to studio, I need to have like 5 singles. And studio wasn't too long ago. You understand? So then the goal is to have 5 singles. So if I have 5 amazing singles, but the next time I arrive at studio, all of a sudden the catalog is like at what, 40 something, you know, whatever. So look, I can release 5 songs of that. Maybe you guys get it in December or something like that.
Time frame we can look out for
Let's say November, December.
Summertime when the
Summer.
the merch
When the merch drops, exactly.
So there is like a plan behind it. We can have any EP listening parties, anything to get
Yeah,
the people.
definitely. Maybe at Budbrothers. We can maybe have a listening party at Budbrothers.
At Budbrothers, yeah, get the people locked in, perform.
Yeah.
Now get a few local artists. Your underrated wants to come perform before you open up for you guys.
Some brands, everything, you know, something like that.
I like that. And then we from outside again, we're going to say thank you to everyone that watches the show, bro. That's been locking in on the show, been leaving comments and improving our show every week. We appreciate the taps. We appreciate everything on the lives as well.
Yeah.
So once again from the Lyric Lounge, thank you for locking in. And if you don't subscribe, you're puss also. Straight.
Salute.
So short, that was Narrator CPT, guys. Thank you for
Respect,
having
guys.
me. So once again, lock in.
So the letter we just pass on to the next artist. Do we know who we are hosting next week?
Come on, right here, man.
Is it Prophet 21? Zulu, what's his name? Yeah, Prophet 21.
Who's next prophet?
What's his name? Yeah, Big Zulu. Big Zulu. Prophet's
I went to school with that, man.
Is it?
Thank you guys for locking in. That was Narrator CPT on the live. Thank you for catching me.
Nou, I was to right?
Everything all good, bro.